Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm here for Basketball Wives LA season 5 episode 1. I've been missing them, so I'm going to catch up right now. So there'll be all 3 episodes back to back so that I can catch up in time for the new episode that comes on tonight. So let's get into it. I don't know if you can tell. Well, I didn't just wake up, but I am still a little tired. And I have a major glow. I don't call it a tan, I call it a glow. Black people glow. So my hands and my face, it's my face down to my neck. It's like darker than the rest of my body. It's so funny. But anyway, so it starts off with Shawnee and Jackie, and Jackie is talking about Doug's coaching position in Reno, and she's not sure if she'll be able to go with him because Jackie goes with Doug everywhere. So they're talking about it, and Shawnee feels like Jackie is very possessive, as when it comes to Doug, which is the absolute truth. Jackie is very possessive when it comes to Doug because she thinks that people want Doug, and I mean, as far as we can see, nobody really wants Doug. But okay, Jackie, in your mind, every woman wants Doug, so whatever, girl. So they start talking about how Doug has a strong sex drive, and if he's in Reno and she's not there, who's gonna take care of him, and blah blah blah. So she's gonna have to make trips out there to see him, to take care of him. And then she's talking about checking his balls, and if it's empty, that's how he's been cheating. If it's full, he hasn't been doing anything. And I'm just sitting here like, Jackie. Because Jackie is always the first to sit up here and talk about sex. And everybody she talks about sex with feel hella uncomfortable. So thank God the subject switched. And they were talking about Brandy. And Shawnee just feels like, Brandy was disrespectful. She's owed an apology. And basically, Brandy is just in the trash with her. Like, she has no more to say to Brandy. It is what it is. And she just wants to leave it at that. So we see Brandy. Brandy is returning. Well, they're in Dallas. And Brandy's not sure if she should return to LA. I guess due to everything that's going on with her and Jason. Everything that's went on with her and the girls. So she introduces us to Duffy. And Duffy is her friend that she's known forever. And she's a DJ. She's engaged to a basketball agent. Brandy reveals that she's separated from Jason, and it's because, Jason was talking about all this reconciliation and wanting to work everything out, but he slipped up and messed up again, and Brandy is just tired of being disrespected. So Duffy is considering moving to LA, and Brandy is like, she's not sure about that because of everything that's going on with the girls and how she has a beef with Shawnee, and she feels like Shawnee is not professional. So, Duffy is like, well, why don't you have a possible meeting with her? And Brandy is like, she doesn't really care to meet with Shawnee. It just is what it is. But they're going to be in the same circles. Excuse me. So something is going to have to be resolved at some point in time. So now we get to Jackie in Malaysia, and they're discussing Angel, and Malaysia is just like, she's not cool with Angel because Angel has been walking around bashing her name, talking about her. She did a radio interview about her, saying that she would punch her in the face. And then they discuss Shawnee and Tammy, and Jackie is basically like, well, I'm just completely done with Brandy. Jackie is basically saying that Shawnee is done with Brandy. And Malaysia doesn't really know how to feel about that because Brandy's her friend. And honestly, I don't feel like Malaysia... Excuse me. I don't feel like Malaysia really has an opinion on the whole Shawnee, Tammy, Brandy thing. I just feel like she's, neutral. Like, she doesn't have an opinion on either side. So now we get to Tammy and Reggie, and they're discussing wanting a baby. As we all know, Tammy was pregnant last year, but she miscarried, I think, at 16 weeks or something like that. So, but altogether, she said that they've had a miscarriage 3 times. And Reggie wants a boy and she wants a girl. And then they were discussing what position would get them a boy. And they were saying the cowgirl position. And I'm like, again, I am uncomfortable with y'all talking about what y'all do during sex. Like, this is very uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever, Tammy, get your baby, do what you gotta do, because we all know Tammy and Reggie are 17 years. They have a 17-year difference between the two of them, but they're doing whatever they can to get their baby together or whatever. You know, I think Reggie's like my age. Like, he's like 29, almost 30, and Tammy is like 47, I think. Tammy, if I got your age wrong, don't kill me. I'm just saying, you know, y'all are 17 years apart. So I think that's y'all age. I hope I'm right, or in that vicinity. Whatever. Tammy, I love you. It's not shade. I love you. So we get to Malaysia and Jackie, and Jackie has a surprise. I don't know. I don't even really remember in this scene. But I know Brandy arrives, and they start talking about Malaysia's dating life and something about a bisexual date or whatever. So they talk about the welcome party that Brandy wants to have for Duffy. I wish I could stop yawning. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. I'm exhausted, and this weather is not helping. It's been raining like all week. So they talk about who's invited, and of course, I think Brandy or one of them wants to invite Angel, and or Jackie, one of them, and they feel like Jackie is stirring up drama by inviting Shawnee. And they're like, don't invite Shawnee, because me and Shawnee don't get along and it's going to be awkward. I don't want to be awkward at my own party. But Jackie is like, y'all should talk it out and y'all should forgive and forget. Brandy doesn't want to forgive. Brandy doesn't care. She just wants to be over it, which is, you know, whatever. So we get to Angel Brinks, and she introduces her friend Angel Love, which I kind of think is cute. It's a little tacky. Not tacky. It is a little corny that they're both named Angel. But at the same time, it's cute. You know, oh, I have the friend of my friend, me and my best friend share the same name. How cool, you know? So, Angel Love has a boyfriend, but they're separated. They're taking a break right now. But Angel Brinks, she's ready to date or whatever, and you know, see what's out there. Seeing that she's no longer with the father of her kids or whatever, she's single, and she's mostly just been working on her career. So they start talking about the ladies, and Angel Brinks doesn't feel like there's a sisterhood with the rest of them, and she feels like the ladies use her as an scapegoat. And she kept saying this, and I'm like, okay, Angel, do you mean that they use you as a scapegoat, or they use you as an escape? It can't be an scapegoat, because that makes no sense. A scapegoat is when there's people that find one person to pick at constantly, and that they just only pick on that one person. So are you a scapegoat, or are they using you as an escape? Because if they're using you as an escape, then that means that they're using you as somebody that they can vent to. Like, I need Angel to clear that up for me, because I was hella confused. So Angel just feels like she doesn't want to be, I guess what she meant was their scapegoat. She doesn't want to be their scapegoat anymore. Because, I mean, everybody feels like all the other seasons, Drea was the one that they picked at. And, like, now that Drea is gone, Angel is the one that they pick at. And I'm just like, I kind of felt like that from last season. You know, Drea wasn't there, so Angel was getting all of like the attention and the aggression and everything that they really wanted to throw at Drea. They were throwing it at Angel because she was Drea's friend, which I didn't think it was fair. But I mean, her beef with Malaysia, it wasn't even a beef to begin with, but now since they all doing radio interviews about each other and whatnot, I mean, I guess it's becoming something bigger than what it really has to be. So now we get to Tammy and Shawnee, and they're putting a cabinet together and catching up. Oh my gosh. They're discussing Brandy and Malaysia. And Tammy feels like Brandy definitely owes Shawnee an apology. And Shawnee knows that she's not going to get the apology. She wants it, but at this point, she's like, you know, she's already apologized. This is the thing. She's already apologized. She's already apologized. Did I say that right? God, I'm tired. She's already apologized. But it's like you can't apologize and then sneak diss at the same time. It doesn't make sense. You already apologized. I thought we moved on from it, and the next thing I know, you're talking about me again. So, like, how does that work? Your apology wasn't sincere. So they're throwing shade or whatever at Malaysia. Well, Brandy. I think Brandy and Malaysia. I don't remember. So now we get to Duffy and Brandy. And they're discussing Malaysia. And Duffy feels like, Duffy and Brandy are discussing Malaysia, and then I think Malaysia arrived. So Malaysia gave Brandy a hug. She didn't give Duffy a hug, which I understand, because if I'm just meeting you, it depends on the vibe that I get from you or whatever. Like, if I'm just meeting someone, a handshake, a little side hug, that's just me. That's what I do, because I feel like it's courtesy. If I'm just meeting somebody, it's like, hey, or, a little handshake, like, nice to meet you, I'm Tisha. Or, a little side hug, there's nothing wrong with that. But some people don't really like side hugging. They don't like that kind of contact. They just, keep it as a hey, a cordial hey. So Duffy automatically is like, oh, when Malaysia walked in, she hugged Brandy and didn't give me a hug, and that made me feel like she's a little standoffish. And I'm like, well, some people don't like hugging people, and I feel like the same way Duffy is feeling right now is the same way that British felt when she first met Malaysia, but British took it to a whole other level. Like, British had an attitude problem about it. Like, Malaysia feel like she too good to hug me. And it's like, it's not even that serious, and you taking it sideways. I wouldn't have felt no way if I was being introduced to Malaysia and she didn't hug me. If she just said hi, I'd have been like, it's cool. And then I'd have felt her vibe for the rest of the night, and then decided how I felt about Malaysia. I wouldn't have took it no way that she didn't hug me. We don't even know each other, So Duffy felt a little bit of shade or whatever. I don't know why she felt shade. It ain't even that serious. So Brandy is discussing the welcome party for Duffy, and she's telling Malaysia that she might invite Angel. And Malaysia explains that her beef with Angel is over a radio interview that she did, saying that she would punch Malaysia in the face. So Duffy is like, listen, I don't really care for drama. I just care about having fun. But Duffy is like Duffy and Brandy are kind of sort of second guessing inviting Malaysia because of how Malaysia is acting. So then the subject gets turned to Brandy and her situation with Jason. And Malaysia says she feels like Brandy is being stubborn. And I'm like, can y'all pronounce a word right tonight in this episode? Like, I mean, stubborn, scapegoat. It's stubborn, B-O-R-N, not B-R-A-N. Like, come on. So Malaysia feels like Brandy is being stubborn, and Brandy is like, how can you feel like I'm being stubborn? Then I could say you being stubborn between you and Gennaro, because basically the same issue that Brandy and Jason are going through is the same issue that Malaysia is going through with her husband. Only difference is Malaysia went through with her divorce. Brandy is separated from her husband. So yeah, if y'all are going through the same exact issue, why do you feel like she's being stubborn? She could say that you were being stubborn in your divorce with your husband. So Duffy is with Brandy, and she's like, well, I understand why Brandy feels the way that she feels. But Malaysia's like, no, I feel like she's being stubborn because he's trying to work it out and you don't want it. And Duffy doesn't really like Malaysia's attitude towards the whole thing. And she feels a way, like she's kind of side-eyeing Malaysia's position on Brandy's marriage or whatever. And here's my opinion. Like I just said, I feel like Malaysia, you going through the same thing or went through the same thing with your husband. You should understand what Brandy is going through. Brandy is caught between a rock and a hard place. She's caught between wanting to work it out with her husband, but every time she gives him a chance, he messes it up. So she's over it. And it's like, it's only so many times you could give a person a chance, and you keep giving them 2, 3, 5, 7, 12, 18 chances, and they keep disrespecting you every chance you give them. It's like, what's a girl to do? So, I mean, I understand where Duffy and Brandy is coming from. I don't really understand where Malaysia's coming from saying that she's being stubborn, because I'm like, I just feel like you give people chances and they keep messing up them chances, then you should just stop giving them chances. But Brandy just feels like we have a baby together, we're married, we're trying to make it work. What else am I going to do? And I get that completely. I don't feel like Brandy is being stubborn. I feel like Brandy is putting her foot down and she's feeling empowered and she knows what she wants out of her relationship. So it basically ended on that note. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this episode. I'm going straight into the next one, so look out for that one. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.